All right, so it is a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. It's been very, very hot the past couple days, but it's starting to cool off a little bit. But today I want to go inside and show some of my trees that might not be doing so well. So let's go inside and take a look at them. All right, so today we're going to be doing a little a little video here focusing on some of the trees that I am not sure if they're still alive yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut into some of these trees and see if they're still alive. So today we're starting off with this Chinese elm. Now this is one that I've had in training for a few years now, and it is just not waking up this year, and it's looking kind of petrified. So yeah, let's dive into this one and see how it's doing. All right, so yeah, this is kind of a bummer because this one already has a fair amount of ramification here. So, well, I guess the easiest way to do this is to just snip into something. So let's do it. Looks pretty dry to me. Yep, I don't see any signs of green in there. Let's just keep on going lower. Yeah, I think that that shows it pretty well. That is a goner. You know, it's a shame because this thing was looking really good, you know, just in late last winter. So yeah, super bummer that it didn't make it, but you know, maybe it just didn't get enough water during the winter, or I don't know. It was in next to all the other plants, so I'm not exactly sure what went on. But yeah, look at that. Let's take a look at the roots. So yeah, this is a shame, but you know, it comes with the territory of bonsai. So I'll reuse this pot for something else and move on to see what else we got. All right, so next up we have one of my Chinese elm trees, and this is one of my original Chinese elms that I got from my parents' house, man, probably like 3 years ago now. So this is an interesting tree because I had this going on a time lapse in my office at work for well over 6 months, maybe even a year at one point. And I think that was the downfall of this tree because it was never able to get the winter cold hours that it needs to be able to grow well for the next season. So I believe I doomed that one from the start by having it indoors all the time. So unfortunately, this one died. It was a pretty cool little tree. It was growing well, but just didn't have enough cold hours, I think, to be able to survive. So lesson learned. Not the best tree to have inside on a time lapse 24 hours a day for like a year or so. So let's just quickly dive in and take a quick look at this thing. All right, let's look. Let's rip this out of the soil. This thing is so dry. Again, this was in soil from the bonsai supply. And yeah, this thing it is dead. Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, that's about as dead as you can get. So unfortunately, this one didn't make it, but we learned a couple things from this one as well. All right, so next up we have my Blue Star Juniper, which that should be a telltale right there. So this thing is obviously dead as well, and this one's been dead for probably a while now. I did a prune on this one. I actually bought this one sometime in 2023, and I did a prune on it at the tail end of 2023, I believe. And I just took off way too much of the foliage. I probably took about 75% of the foliage off, and that was a big no-no. So that was a big mistake and a learning tool for me. I was hoping it was going to pull through. I didn't do anything to it in 2024. I just let it sit in its pot, and it slowly died up until where it's at right now. So yeah, look at that. I bet it comes right out. Yeah, it is gone. No coming back. So yeah, this thing unfortunately is gone. So oh well, we live and learn. All right, so next up we have my white oak that I got from my brother's house. Probably in, oh man, I think it was 2023 when I first picked this one up. But it hasn't been awake all spring and summer here, so I think today is the day that we take a look and see if this thing is alive or if it's dead. So yeah, let's crack into it and see how it's doing. All right, let's take a little bit off here. That's not a good sign. Let's see. Oh. I don't think that's a good sign either. Oh man. Yeah, that is that's a pretty big tell right there that it just pulled right out. So well, unfortunately this one is for sure dead. So this will go in the trash. So I had high hopes for this one. I put it in a little bit of a little pond basket here last year. Maybe it was the year before, I don't remember. But either way, that's a shame. I like this little white oak, so oh well. So let's go on to the next one. Now, I think it's pretty obvious if you look at this boxwood, this thing is, I would say, a goner. It is not looking so hot, and all these crusty light brown leaves. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that this thing is definitely dead. This was a cutting that came off of a previous boxwood that also died. I got a good track record here with the boxwoods. But I recently separated a privet that was also in this pot within the past 6 to 8 months. And I don't know if that necessarily had anything to do with this thing dying, but either way, didn't make it. I do have some other boxwood cuttings from that original boxwood that are still around. So yeah, not all is lost. We still have some members of the family. So let me just crack into this just to make sure that it is dead. So let's take a look here. Yeah, that thing is gone. I mean, it seems like there's a decent amount of roots in here still, but yeah, I'm not even gonna pull this out. I think it's safe to say this thing's dead. So we will again salvage this pot here and yeah, go on to something else. So I'm sorry, little boxwood, but your sibling cuttings will live on, and hopefully they will survive. All right, and I think this is another one that can be chalked up in the pretty much dead category. This is my Kalanchoe succulent that I got from my sister-in-law a few years ago. It was a cutting from my grandmother's Kalanchoe that my sister-in-law got. And yeah, this one's pretty upsetting because this was one of my favorite bonsai that I had. So it's kind of a bummer, but the good thing is that she still has the original mother plant. So maybe I can snag another cutting off of that in the future and start again. So, and yeah, I'm sure even if I just kind of tug on this, yeah, it's that's gone. So that is a shame. Oh man, there is nothing there. So why this one died, I'm not sure. It was taken care of pretty well, so no idea. It was in well draining soil. This is actually soil that was from the bonsai supply, so you know, pretty good soil. So I don't know. Sometimes it just happens. So either way, let's move on to something else. All right, so next up we have my apple tree, which woke up a little early this year, and maybe that was the downfall of this one, or maybe the downfall of this one was that I repotted this one too early in the season. It was in bonsai soil, but I really wasn't happy with the way that it was in the soil, so I did a repot on it, and yeah, maybe something happened along the way. Maybe there's a draft here in my attic and it shocked it a little bit, because I did water it fairly well throughout the late winter, early spring. So this one is pretty, yeah, look at that, that just popped right up. This one's pretty petrified. So yeah, kind of unfortunate. I kind of like the way that I had this like very sharp 90-degree angle right there. Oh well. You know, you learn from your mistakes, and this is turning out to be quite the fail video. But it's all good. I don't mind. I like to show the successes and the mistakes, because you know, we're only human, and maybe somebody can learn something from this. And what I learned, apple trees are kind of finicky for me. I've had a lot of troubles with them. I only have one of my apple trees that I've grown from seed that's still around. So and I think I had 3 or 4 of them. So I have some cuttings from the trees that are still around, but the main ones, I only have 1 left. So this one will go into the trash. So again, we'll reuse this container and put another tree into it. So either way, let's move on to one more. All right, and finally we have what I believed was my chestnut oak that was given to me by my brother. This was another one that woke up really early in the season, and yeah, this one is definitely gone. It is quite brown. There is no signs of life, and I was watering this one well, and yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe I took too much of the roots off again. Maybe there was a draft in my attic that you know, froze the roots a little bit. I don't know. Either way, this is a bit of a shame. I was looking forward to seeing this one grow and seeing how it would develop this year. But yeah, another one bites the dust. So let's take a look down here real quick just to see, take a look at the roots here. Yeah, look at that. Whoa, super crispy, super crispy. And let's do the, dang. Another one bites the dust. So that's unfortunate, but you know, these things happen. It's part of bonsai. So yeah, I think I think that will do it for our dead bonsai society right here. So yeah, I feel like it's important to show the fails sometimes. So yeah, we move on, and hopefully we become better bonsai artists for it. So yeah, that is it for today. Thanks for watching.